Hi everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. If you would like to see me apply a full face of first impressions with new to me makeup, then just keep on watching. So for primer, I'm going to give the Marc Jacobs Undercover Blurring Coconut Face Primer a go. Now I'm really excited to try this out because I love the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and this one is also, I believe, a silicone type primer, so hopefully I'm going to love it. You get 30 mils. I'm expecting it to smell like coconut. Oh, it's that lovely silicone texture that I like to see. Look at me getting all excited about a primer. Doesn't smell like anything, which is a bit disappointing, but by the way it feels, I think I'm going to like it. Oh, I might have put a bit too much on. It's a very thick primer, slightly thicker than the Smashbox, if you like that one. Not quite as easy to spread. So it's basically giving me Smashbox vibes, but a little bit thicker. I feel like I've got quite a big layer of that, but time will tell if I've made an error. That was kind of what I was expecting it to be like, minus a coconutty scent, but we know that fragrance isn't that great for us in skincare. Oh, I see a weird wrinkle under my eye that wasn't there before. I wouldn't really like to blame the primer, but very strange. So for foundation, I'm finally gonna get round to trying the very famous, beloved Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Now this one's been out for years, and I think when a foundation stays out for years, I got the shade Snow, by the way, just tried to match myself online, so hopefully it's good. I think when a foundation's out for a long time, it's a sign that it's good. People tend to love this. I'm not sure if this is going to be too dark. That's Snow. Oh, let's go for it. Maybe this will work. Now, I went for this foundation because it's medium to full coverage, and I don't have a new concealer to try today. So I thought I could just build this up on the areas where I need some extra help. Quite a thick foundation. I think it is going to be full coverage vibes. It's not spreading on that easy, but again, could be the primer. Yeah, it's giving decent coverage. I have my pre-dampened beauty blender, so I'm going to bounce. Now this is nice coverage, you know, without being too heavy. Quite liking it so far. I'm going to build with another pump. Might regret it, but in for a penny, in for a pound. Okay, so feels nice and smooth. Does feel quite heavy, so I'm not sure whether the second pump was such a good idea. It's not super spreadable, but I'm going to bounce this in and hopefully end up with something quite natural. I think this might get cakey if I tried to build it anymore, and to be honest, it is looking quite heavy. I think I might have been better sticking to one pump with this, you know, but I'm going to make it work. I can still see texture and imperfections, but I'm very reluctant to build it up more, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to almost use it to spot cover. So I'm just going to put one pump directly on my sponge and press that onto the areas directly where I think I need more. For me at the moment this is just okay. It's not quite full coverage, but I'm also not going to build it up anymore because I feel like it would become very unnatural looking. Okay, that's not too bad. For contour, I'm going to use the Tom Ford Concealing Pen in a darker shade than my skin tone. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to use the shade Chestnut. Oh, and it's a twisty pen. Got a little sponge tape applicator. So what I'm going to do is just dab that on to the places I would usually contour. This shade Chestnut is quite warm on me, so I'm not sure how it's going to work as a contour shade. In future I will probably use this as a liquid bronzer, but the consistency is nice. If you were going to use this as a concealer, it's quite nice coverage, quite a thick concealer. It's taking me some work to press into the skin, but it wasn't designed to be used as a contour product. But having said that, it's not doing too bad at all. It's done its job, which is not the actual job that it claims to do. So thank you, Tom Ford, for being so very versatile. Okay, for blush, I am going to use one of the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Beauty Light ones, and this is the shade Peachgasm. And these have those, again, sponge tip applicators, and you just turn on and squeeze until some product comes. Okay, I think that's probably more than enough. And I will say, once I've squeezed, it looks empty. So I have seen a few people complain that this is mostly air, and I kind of get why they would feel that way, because it is mostly air. Okay, so I've just used that sponge tip applicator to dab onto my cheek, and then always I like to melt these liquidy cream blushes in with a finger. Now that one is very glowy. I can see why it's called a high blush, like a highlighter stroke blush hybrid. But to be honest, I think I like my highlighters and blushes as single entities, so I'm not sure how much I'm loving this. If you wanted a particularly sheeny, shiny blush, you'll probably like this. But for me, I'm not sure. Been a bit hit and miss so far really today. For eyeshadow, I'm going to go with the Natasha Denona Eyeshadow Palette 5. This is one of the minis, and it's got some really cute neutral shades in. And I think first of all I'm going to dip into that matte shade in the middle to use in my crease. This one is called the shade Shell. Now that Shell name rings a bell. I'm not sure if I've actually got that shade already in one of my other Natasha Denona palettes. As I was expecting, the blend is really nice and smooth. It's Natasha Denona. It's what we expect from our girl Natasha. Beautiful. I'm going to go on with a teeny tiny bit more and focus on the outer corner. Oh, do you know, that colour builds quite fast. I should have maybe stuck to the subtle look. It's too late now. Still, even though that's more than I would have liked, it still blends out nice and smooth. And I'm just going to leave that there. And then I'll just take a little slanted brush and go underneath the eye with that same colour, just to give some definition there. And again, these always go on really smooth. I'm noticing some patching under my eye, so I'm not sure if that's the foundation, the primer, or the combo of them both. So I've got that matte colour down, and then I'm going to take this gorgeous shimmery shade. This one's called Lavender Grey, and I'm just going to go on with a finger and pop that all over the lid. Oh wow, that's beautiful. Really gorgeous. I think that's a really kind of daytime appropriate sheen. Gorgeous, gorgeous shade. And then the last thing I'm going to do is pop some of this goldy shade. This one's called Light Coral, and I'm just going to pop that in my inner corner. That one's underwhelmed me a bit actually, which is a shock. I should have maybe spritzed my brush with setting spray first. There we go. I think I just needed to pick up a bit more colour on the brush actually. There's a quick little daytime eye look I've created with this cute little mini palette. I will do the same thing on the other eye and I'll be right back. I am back with hopefully two vaguely similar eyes. I can never get them quite the same. I seem to actually have a sharper line on this side than this side, so I'm going to attempt to even it out. Probably end up looking mad. I feel like every time I try to add more makeup to fix a problem, I end up intensifying that problem. So I'm just going to kind of blend the edges on both eyes. I like a diffused, kind of blown out edge rather than a sharp edge to my eyeshadow. And I'm going to leave that there, but what I'm going to do actually, now I've got eyeshadow on both eyes, I am just going to do a bit of blending in the crease where that shimmer meets the transition shade. Okay. Not looking too bad. Clean those edges up slightly. So for liner, hopefully it'll be a match. I'm going to give the Beauty Pie Ultra Pro Colour Glide eyeliner a go, and this is in the shade Molten Bronze, so hopefully it'll go nicely with those eyeshadow shades I've already used, and I'm going to pop that in the waterline. I was expecting this to be amazing, but you know what? Not going on as smooth as I would have hoped. Took a little time to build up that colour, but once it's in, I think it looks okay. Not sure if my waterline is too watery. It's kind of done the job, but I'm not loving that in my waterline. So just to give it a fair test, I'm just going to draw a line just above my upper lashes. I don't usually wear eyeliner like this. So that's kind of a bit of a weird thing I've just done. Now it's gone on smoother above the eye, and I've ended up with some weird kind of attempt at a cat eye, which has not gone well, so I'm just going to really smudge that out with a little flat side of the brush, and thank goodness that has smudged. Still look a bit crazy, so I'm going to use that same brush just to kind of blend it a bit above the lashes. Kind of wanted to try that out for you guys, but I've totally messed up my look in the process. I said I wasn't a fan of the sharp wing. Again, blend. I'm just going to blend over that. Oh dear. I'm going to just keep blending to blend that line out. I'm more about seamless blended makeup than harsh lines. So I've managed to diffuse that line a little bit. And I'm just going to really hope it looks okay when I've got the rest of my makeup on. I usually love stuff from Beauty Pie, but I'm not too sure about that eyeliner. Now, as glossy as that high blush is, I still want highlighter. So I'm going to go in with a Nudestix. I have the Nudestix Nudies highlighter in the shade Illumi-Naughty. Oh, it's got a brush on one end, and that is kind of a pearly but kind of golden whitish highlight. Now I'm just going to go straight from, oh, it feels kind of oily. Might do a bit around there as well. A bit on the Cupid's bow. Oops. Now I want to melt this in with my fingers rather than using a brush, because I think you just get a more natural look. And that is melting in lovely. Now for powder, I've got the Huda Easy Bake Loose Powder in the shade Cupcake. Now, I am not much of a baker. I really like baking in the kitchen, but when it comes to my face, not so much. But what I'll do, in the spirit of the products, oh, I really like the jar. Similar to the, oopsie daisy, similar to the packaging for their Bronzer. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to take my damp sponge and I am going to, there is a bit of pigment in this powder as well. It's kind of a pink colour. I'm going to put some under my eyes. Oh gosh, I'm going to undo all that good work with the highlighter. Just dip my sponge in there. It's got one of those nice kind of flexible material-y tops. And I'll put that under my eyes, all around the nose. I'm kind of just going to put it everywhere really, because that foundation didn't quite give me the coverage that I wanted. So this powder can give me some extra. Okay, so I said I was going to bake, but I haven't baked at all. I've just pressed this into the skin, but you can use this as a setting powder, and it is quite nice actually. It's giving that blurring effect, giving me that hint of coverage. It's not too matte. I would say it's kind of a velvety powder. Okay. That's kind of enhanced that base for me now. Yeah, that's not too bad. That powder laid on top of everything else nicely. It has kind of taken down the shine from my highlighter, so this could be a terrible mistake, but I'm just going to see if this would lay on top of powder, which I think was a mistake. That kind of dragged. I should have applied it maybe with my fingers or a brush. Yep. Do not put this powder on top of highlighter. It's not good if you want the glowy look. It's kind of taken down all my glow, so I would suggest actually using this under a powder highlight, because that has started to go quite patchy. Oh well, you live and learn. For lips, I am going to try out one of the Pat McGrath MatteTrance lipsticks. These are very posh packaging. I feel like I'm opening a scroll. Now, I'm not really a matte gal, but I've heard that these MatteTrance lipsticks are gorgeous packaging. Are actually not too matte, so I'll put that to the test now. I have the shade Femme. It's very, very pretty, and I'm just going to go for it. Now, I can see that has kind of enhanced some dry, wintry skin that I did have on my lips. It's a pretty colour. I would recommend exfoliating your lips before you use this if you have any hint of dryness, which to be fair, I should have done today. It's still kind of enhanced my lip lines a little. For mascara, I'm going to use the Florence Built to Lash mascara. Now it's interesting, I can see again, this is only 2/3 full. Packaging is deceiving us today. There's the brush. Giving my lashes a nice kind of spidery length. Quite a dry formula. You're not going to get dramatic lashes with this, but then it's a 14-year-old girl, I believe, I bet she's 15 now, that's come up with this company, so I'm glad. And it's not crazy dramatic. I'm getting a bit more drama on this side. It's a little bit clumpy. I'm just messing about with that Beauty Pie eyeliner now, not the mascara. That again, just another okay one for me, to be honest. And then for my brows, I'm going to use the Lord & Berry Perfect Brow Pencil Magic Definer. I usually like to use a brow gel, but this pencil was all I had in the way of brows. I have the shade Brunette. It's a really nice soft pencil actually that goes on really easy. I think that Brunette shade might be a bit too warm for me. I think they only have about 3 shades, but it's a really nice texture, quite easy for me to just draw on who's not really a brow aficionado, and it does have a spoolie on the other side, which is nice. So yeah, a really nice quick shortcut to full brows. Okay, let's assess the situation. I think I want a tiny bit more of this blush. There's still some on the sponge from last time, so I'll dot that on again. It isn't the most matte lipstick I've ever seen. Still enhancing my lip lines though. Okay, so that completes my full face of first impressions. I don't think I was really blown away by anything. I tried today, which is a bit sad. The eyeshadow was my favourite thing I tried. The lovely Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette was gorgeous, as to be expected. Everything else is just okay for me, but I will be back later to do a check-in to let you know how it's all wearing. But for now, I'll see you in a bit, guys. Hi everyone, it is about 6 hours later and I am back to see how this makeup has been holding up. So, looking at my face, the makeup is still to quite a good extent on my face, so the primer's gonna get a tick from me. Foundation has started patching off a bit around my chin. The coverage isn't that amazing. I think the newer foundation formulas on the market are kind of trumping this one, which has been around for a while. If you want full coverage, my advice would be the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. I much prefer to the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. The blusher is still on, that Charlotte Tilbury blusher. It's not my favourite blusher. I don't really like the concept of a high blush. I don't see much of that Tom Ford concealer contour on my face. The Nudestix highlight I think would have been lovely if I didn't put the Huda powder on top, which really mattified it down. The Huda powder is a little bit cakey, but I applied that with a beauty blender, so maybe if I'd have applied with a looser brush I might have had more joy with that Easy Bake powder. The foundation I can see is creased in my smile lines as well. The Natasha Denona eyeshadow is still looking nice. That shimmery shade has faded a little bit, but it's faded evenly. There's hardly any creasing. I can sign off on that Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette. The lipstick, the Pat McGrath lipstick has all gone, and I wouldn't like to blame it for drying my lips out. My lips look a little bit dry, but I think that's probably just winter. However, if you do have dry skin on your lips, avoid that MatteTrance lipstick at all costs, and I would recommend exfoliating before using. It did last through some avo toast, however after a cup of tea the lipstick had all gone. The eyebrows, still looking good. That eyebrow pencil hasn't budged from Lord & Berry, maybe just not the right colour for me. My face is looking a little bit cakey. I don't think I love that powder foundation primer combo. Eyes. Eyeshadow on, as I've said. The eyeliner has held up pretty well, the Beauty Pie eyeliner. And you know, the mascara has barely smudged at all. I want to add another layer because I only did one coat of mascara, and I'm sorry guys, I'll show you how well it builds, see if it does build, because it hasn't flaked or smudged at all. So though I was a bit underwhelmed at first, the staying power's good. It's getting a bit clumpy actually on that second coat. So if you like a natural mascara look, this side is one coat and that's with two coats. But yeah, the mascara, it's rare for me that I don't get a mascara that smudges, so I'm quite impressed with that. So they were my thoughts on some new to me makeup products. Have you tried any of the products I talked about today? Will you try any of them based on what I said? I'd love to hear all your comments down below. Thank you so much for being with me today, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye guys.